A modern neon sign outside our musical comedy theatre, its letters burning with a cold fluorescent glare, announces a gala performance of Oscar Straus's romantic operetta, The Waltz Dream. More than 40 years have elapsed since Sein Waltz Straus brought its Berlin debut, since Frohman presented in New York and Edwards in London with the unforgettable Gertie Miller. But there's more richness and variety in this old score than most modern pieces can offer. And that is why the theatre tonight is so crowded and why such a gale of applause greets the overture. On the rise of the curtain, we see the costumes, decor, atmosphere and style are pure Viennese. The audience has come to see dashing uniforms, beer gardens, cafes, to listen to seductive Viennese waltzes, and they'll not be disappointed. And here's some of our cast, Frederica, Wendelin and Siegmund in The Gay Hussar.
She chose a young Vienna, astonishment beyond events. Astonishment beyond events, to see her chosen consort prince. It was a gay hussar who has a lovely star. A gay hussar, a gay hussar, a gay hussar. No man can keep them long apart. You never know your love until a man has said, I will. And when he's married well and good, you see if he is all he should. But then it's quite too late, of course. Yes, then it's quite too late, of course. And all that's left to is divorce. And so the gay hussar is where and there you are. A gay hussar, a gay hussar, a gay hussar.
No sooner does the opening chorus end than we're pitchforked into the wedding festivities of Helena, the Princess of Flausenthurm, a cold, proud beauty who's turned her holiday in Vienna to good advantage by annexing a handsome young lieutenant of the Hussars as her crown prince. This is Lieutenant Niki, and his appearance in the Grand Hall with his bride is a signal for loud acclaim. And when the old Prince Joachim pushes his son-in-law forward to acknowledge the plaudits, all confusion, Niki replies,
Your speeches have been rather long, without the slightest question. But now they're gone and nothing's wrong, excepting my digestion. You spoke of love and loyalty with eloquence unbroken. You won't expect the same from me, so take it all as spoken. For I am from another land. Your little ways confuse me, but if I do not understand, I hope you will excuse me. I like a bit of fun, I like fresh air and sun. Hope you don't mind, I'm just that kind. Anything dull and slow gets on my nerves, you know. Go there to make suit your lot, me it does not. I'm a regular soldier man, ready for fun and frolic. I may be foolish and even mad, I'm never melancholic. Waltzes and wine and a merry song, that's what I've loved all my whole life long. I'm bonzo, I'll stay so, I may be perverse, but if you don't like it, I don't care a curse. No, if you don't like it, I don't care a curse.
The only member of his old regiment to accompany Nicky to Flausenthurm is his friend Lieutenant Monchi, and to Monchi he confides his dismay at being strong-armed into marriage with this princess. It's all very well for him, a humble lieutenant, to fall in love from afar with his goddess, not to be summoned to headquarters in order to marry her. That's another matter. I'll obey no commands to love, he shouts. But Cupid has other ways of commanding. You hear that, Monchi? That music? It's a Viennese band, says Monchi, a ladies' band. They're performing in the gardens next door to the palace. Last night Nicky heard this band, and the same waltz, and now as he listens, a feeling of sadness comes over him. Too soon has he put his youth behind him. Too soon has he said goodbye to Maytime and romance.
I walk in the blossoming garden and suddenly paused with a start. I heard such a magical music, the song of my home and my heart, a tune full of joy and of sadness, like nightingale's music above. The beat of the pulses of passion, the echo of youth and of love. A laughter mingled with sobbing, a wail and a passionate cry. It set the heart of me throbbing with dreams of days gone by. Like an enthralling magic it seems, calling and calling out of my dreams. Joy that is sadness, pain that is bliss, stormy as a madness, soft as a kiss. Blossoms of Maytime, love and delight, sun of the daytime, moon of the night, join in the dances but for a day. Love that entrances, love in the May, join in the dances but for a day. Love that entrances, love in May.
Like a man in a dream, he listens as the music fades. Then the dream too fades, and he's back in a world which is distasteful to him. Soon he must join his royal spouse, play consort to this strange, silent princess. But he hears the music again, and feels the urge to follow it to its source. So with Monchi as his companion on his wedding night, Prince Nicky leaves the palace for the garden fete and one last romantic adventure. When the Princess Helena goes to her husband's room, the bird has flown, And she who loves this capricious young Viennese with all her heart, too stands alone and listens to the music of the Waltz Dream. The palace gardens are crowded with revelers. The moon is high, the champagne flows, coloured lamps twinkle among the trees, and the fun is wild and free. The ladies' band has attracted a swarm of elegant young officers who fight for their favours. And here on this rostrum, Nicky sees for the first time the enchanting Franzi, leader of the orchestra, and is captivated by her. She, in her turn, is drawn to this smiling lieutenant, and in no time at all, they're sitting in the little kiosk, sipping a glass of wine, and gazing at each other in frank admiration.
Come hither, my dear little maiden, you girl from the dear old town. You seem like a ray of sunshine, through a rift in the cloud come down. For we are two poor little people, adrift on the world's highway. Why can't we be happy together, with laughter and kisses, say? Why can't we be happy together, with laughter and kisses, say?
Oh, sir, if you please, oh, sir, if you please, do not break my heart with words like these. They're so sweet to me, but it's better not, it must not be. I'm a poor and humble maiden, and you are a gentleman. If you take my heart and break it, I must mend it, I can.
Oh, you're lovely, you're delightful, oh, you darling of my heart.
No, I cannot, never, never. It is best for us to part.
Kiss me, darling,
That is better.
oh, you darling of my heart. Kiss me, kiss me, kiss me ever. Take me
Resuming our story, the night has eyes, but the kiosk has curtains. So the young lovers screen themselves, Franzi the musician, never suspecting that the man who holds her in his arms is the errant husband of the Princess of Klausenthal. Other members of the royal household arrive at the fete. Prince Joachim and his cousin, the Count Lothar, their appetite for adventure unimpaired by Anno Domini and gout. Then Helena herself, with her lady-in-waiting Frederica, appears. Anxious and unhappy at the disappearance of Nicky, she has come incognito to the gardens in the hope of persuading him to return. And the first person they meet is Franzi. Helena has never heard of the ladies' band, and Franzi, a Viennese, has never heard of Helena. But the ladies of the court are at once struck by the charm and vivacity of this musician. And when Helena, curious, asks her to explain the secret of her attractions, a lively scene develops.
I will tell you what you have wondered, but could never find out yet. For the answer to your question you cannot get. I cannot give. You ask of the folk who live in Vienna, very polite. you have been told. Men without feeling, men without passion, careless and cold, careless and cold. I don't know if I'm dreaming the while. What say you? You make me smile. Cold are we, dull are we, what you call slow. There's not one word of it true, you must know. There's not one word of it true, you must know. We can kiss when we're in love, till the sky goes round above, till a fellow hardly feels if he's on his head or heels. Till a fellow hardly feels if he's on his head or heels. Temperament, we're like fire and fury blend. Temperament, we're like fire and fury blend. Temperament.
Franzi confides to the ladies of the court that she has lost her heart to a young lieutenant of Vienna. You'll see him when he returns, she says. He's wandering somewhere in the gardens. You can sit here and wait if you like. But Helena has other fish to fry, and with Frederica continues her search for her missing consort. That crumbling old Casanova, the Count Lothar, has also made a mental note of the ripe beauty of Franzi, and seeing her alone, he makes a joyful, if gouty, entrance. And for the next few minutes, Franzi is kept busy with her violin, warding off the Count, for the old man likes to fiddle, too. Oh, what a little coquette. Oh, what a little minx. And he gives her a playful little slap on the cheek. And then another. And then it's Franzi's turn. Undaunted by this gentle rebuff, the amorous old aristocrat produces a piccolo from his pocket and suggests that they make beautiful music together. You with your violin, Franzi, me with my flute. Come now. And for the sake of harmony, Franzi consents, and the music begins.
Against my cheek,
and flute and violin shall speak.
I breathe my love prestissimo.
I feel it adagio.
The man's an utter fool, you bet, who cannot play a love duet. The violin sighs I know, repeated on the piccolo. Piccolo, piccolo.
Sim, sim, sim. He loves her and she loves him.
Keep it up in merry chime till we lose the tune and time. Piccolo, piccolo, tim, tim, tim. He loves her and she loves him. Keep it up in merry chime till we lose the tune and time. Before the two have played for long,
a third will come to join the song,
and very soon you don't know how
the pair becomes a trio now.
The third performer plays its tune fortissimo on the bassoon. The violin does come in full with loud bassoon and piccolo. Piccolo, piccolo.
Sim, sim, sim. He loves her and she loves him.
Keep it up in merry chime till we lose the tune and time. Piccolo, piccolo, sim, sim, sim. He loves her and she loves him. Keep it up in merry chime till we lose the tune and time.
They go into a frisky little dance. Lothar hobbling, Franzi mocking and taunting him, and still dancing, leave the stage. When Franzi returns, Nicky is with her. For a moment they must part, as Franzi and her band have to give their performance. They kiss and promise to meet soon again. And then they're surrounded. Prince Joachim, Count Lothar, Frederica, court officials and the Princess Helena. The prince consort, bridegroom for a day, caught in the arms of a common musician. The prince consort, Franzi gasps in horror. My handsome lieutenant, the prince consort. A scandal, Joachim shouts. And sobbing, Franzi falls on the steps of the bandstand, and the orchestra begins to play again. Nicky gives his arm to Helena, and followed by their royal entourage, they leave the stage. The idyll has ended. In the council chamber the next day, a full court assembles for an interrogation of the wayward consort. Witnesses are called, and it is the intention of Prince Joachim and his ministers to annul the marriage and expel Nicky from Flausenfirm. But they have not reckoned with Her Royal Highness Helena. To save Nicky, she claims that his escapade was arranged with her knowledge, that by mutual understanding they decided to have one night of freedom. So no more of this nonsense. The court is dismissed. And in the last scene of all, it is Franzi, the forlorn little band leader, who brings Nicky and Helena together by telling Nicky that she does not love him, by urging Helena to be less of a princess and more of a woman. Then, with the lady-in-waiting, Frederica, she compares the fortunes of a baroness and a vagabond.
I am from gay Vienna, I am a dame at court. I'm not a stiff duenna, I'm your blue-blooded sort. Look at the way I'm stamping in a Vienna dance. This is extremely cramping, how's that for elegance? Perhaps you may doubt me, but what I say is true. The court will get on, but without me, I wish that I were you. For people uncontented with anything they've had. Baroness, vagabond, it's not so bad. Silks and satins, oh, they're true, dear. I'd throw that in to be you, dear. You're so quiet, not like me. Only try it, then you'll see. Oh, to wonder, playing strumming over yonder, take what's coming. It were better to forget, gilded fettered etiquette. From my lover, I am parted, all is over, broken-hearted, ever lonely, glad was gone. I can only wander on, yes, I wonder, playing strumming over yonder, take what's coming, sort of laden and alone, just a maiden all alone. If I were from Vienna, I were a swell at court. I'd be no stiff duenna, I'd be your blue blood sort. Look at the way I'm stamping in a Vienna dance. This is extremely cramping, how's that for elegance? Perhaps you may doubt me, but what I say is true. The court will get on, but without me, I wish that I were you. For people uncontented with anything they've had. Baroness, vagabond, it's not so bad.
In the palace ballroom, thronged with bejeweled women and elaborately uniformed men, a ball is in progress. Nicky, no longer resentful of his enforced marriage, is happy at last with his princess, and as the music begins, they dance to the strains of the Waltz Dream. The music of yesterday fades. The romantic atmosphere of a Viennese operetta disappears, engulfed in the folds of the last curtain. And this is reality again. The slow procession through fire exits and foyer. Then a race for trams, taxis and trains. And so, home from our musical comedy theatre.